Mine is Brian Clyde, the founder and CEO of AdTubio. Most business owners I talk to don't have a business problem. They have customers. They have a service people want. They built a team and they built a reputation. But getting the next customer has become harder, more expensive, less predictable. And I believe there's a reason for that. Your business isn't broken. The way that businesses acquire customers is changing. And today, I want to show you what has changed and what you can do about it. But first, I want to answer one question. Is your marketing actually built for how customers buy today? That's exactly what we're going to be finding out. We're going to look at where your customers spend their attention, how they discover the companies, and most businesses enter that journey, and where I believe there's much bigger opportunity. And by the end, you can decide whether this makes sense for your business. No hype, no promises. Let's look at the model. You probably tried some version of all of this: Google, Facebook, SEO, lead companies, agencies, referrals. And I'm not telling you none of those don't work. They can, but look at what most of them have in common. They wait until somebody is already looking. And when somebody's already looking and searches for you, finally it is, you're not the only business waiting for them. Everybody is. That's the problem. So here's the first shift. Stop waiting for demand. Start building recognition before the search. Imagine somebody searches for the roofer, sees 5 companies they've never heard of, and the only one they're already seen 3 or 4 times. Which company feels safer? Which company feels established? Which one they're more likely to click? The goal isn't simply they found us. The stronger position is I already know that company. And because customers don't always go from stranger to customer in one click, they see you. They see you again. They recognize you. They have a need. And that's when they research you and they check reviews and they look at your website and they compare and then they call. So there's the belief. I want you to remember, recognition comes before conversation. The sale may happen today, but the relationship with the brand may have started weeks earlier. Now, shift number 2: stop buying random advertising. Start building an acquisition system: audience, message, creative, media, targeting, optimization. Those shouldn't be 6 disconnected decisions. They should work together. And because one campaign is temporary, a system gets smarter over time. Imagine running your sales department the way most businesses run marketing. This week, new salesperson. Next week, new pitch. Then a new territory. Then a new follow-up process. Then you scrap everything and start over again. You'd never expect predictable sales from that. Yet businesses do exactly that with marketing. Google for 3 months, then Facebook, then another agency, then something else. And every time they switch, they basically start over. Random tactics create random results. Predictability comes from building the system. And here's the third shift: customer attention moved. Think about your own house. How much television do you watch through traditional cable anymore? Now think about Netflix, Hulu, Roku, YouTube TV, connected television, and streaming apps. The living room changed. And what's important for businesses is the living room became targetable. Instead of thinking about television only as a broad mass media, modern streaming advertising can be used in a reach to find audiences in the markets. That's a fundamental change. TV isn't only a Fortune 500 company opportunity anymore. Now look at these 2 businesses, same service, same city, same customer, but 2 completely different strategies. The businesses on the left waits, the customer searches. Now everybody competes for the click, and everybody wants the lead, and everybody wants the quote. They enter in late. The businesses on the right enters earlier. The customer sees them, recognizes them, becomes familiar with them, and then when they finally happens, they are a stranger. They enter early. So which position would you rather own? Now let's make this about business, because attention itself doesn't matter. Economics matters. Let's say purely, for example, your average customer represents $5,000 in revenue. For additional customers, you represent $25,000 potential revenue. And I'm not saying advertising guarantees those 5 customers. It doesn't. I'm showing you why the question this matters is, why do ads cost? Is incomplete. The better question is, what is acquiring a customer worth? Because once you understand customer value, now we can intelligently discuss acquisition costs. And that's the idea behind AdTubio. We don't just buy media. We build the system around it. Market intelligence tells us where to look. Audience strategy tells us where we're trying to reach. Creatives gives us something worth remembering. Streaming TV creates exposure. Retargeting reinforces recognition. AI performance intelligence helps us learn and optimize. The media isn't the entire product. The connected system is the product. And we simplified that in 4 stages. Understand your market, your customer, create the message and the commercial, reach, get the message in front of the right audience, optimize, use intelligence coming back to improve what happens next. Understand, create, reach, optimize, from guessing to intelligence. Now, you might be thinking, streaming TV sounds expensive. Fair question, but I would ask, compared to what? What's a bad lead worth? What's an expensive click worth? What's another agency worth? And what's a customer you lose to a competitor worth? Don't compare media cost to isolation. Compare acquisition cost to customer value. That's the cost of economics comes first. And this isn't for every business. AdTubio makes the most sense when you already have a proven that people want what you sell. You know your customer is. You served and defined a market. You can handle additional business. And you're serious about building customer acquisition. And if you're looking for the magic button, this isn't it. This is not another marketing experiment. It's another infrastructure. If you don't believe me, look what's already happening around us. Major brands are investing heavily in streaming environments. And I'm not showing you these companies as Atubio's clients. I'm showing you the evidence of a broader shift. Attention moved. Larger advertisers followed it. The technology and media system has evolved. And now businesses outdated Fortune 500 can participate in ways that weren't practical before. So the question isn't, does streaming advertising exist? The question is, should your business be there? And this is probably the most important part of the entire presentation. I don't want you to be dependent on another black box agency forever. We build the system, we launch the system, and we help you understand the system, your audience, your creative, your campaigns, your data, your processes. Because I don't want Activio to simply become another monthly bill. I want you to help build a capability inside of your business. And once it's built, you have options. Maybe your team eventually operates it. Maybe Actubio manages it. Maybe we operate it together. The important part is you aren't trapped. The system should adapt to your business, not the other way around. One system, 3 ways to run it. You choose. So, what are we actually putting together? Market intelligence, growth strategy, commercial creation, streaming TV campaign development, audience intelligence targeting, launch, optimization, technology, training, support. Individually, we've estimated the components roughly $24,000 combined retail value. But the important part isn't the 24,000. The important part is understanding isn't this one ad. It's the acquisition capability of assembling around your business. Now, here's where the model becomes different. Imagine a traditional agency relationship at $5,000 a month. That's $60,000 a year, and you're probably renting that service. Our implementation and launch investment shown here is $7,500 flat rate. Media spend is separate. And instead of positioning that $7,500 as another monthly advertising bill, we're using it to build the strategy, the creative, the technology, the training, and launch capability. So I don't want you asking, which agency should I rent? I want you asking, should I build the capability? Because advertisement is temporarily. You buy the impression, it runs, it's over. But the commercial, your audience intelligence, your market strategy, your campaign architecture, your operating knowledge, those can continue creating value. That's why I don't think this is the simply buying ads. You're building an asset. Don't just buy attention, build the machine that creates it. Now, there's only one cost we haven't talked about, the cost of waiting. What happens if you do exactly what you're doing today for another 12 months? Your competitors aren't going to stop. Your customer attention isn't going to stop moving. Advertising markets aren't going to freeze. Customers are going to wait. 6 months becomes 12, 12 becomes 24, and doing nothing feels free because nobody sends you an invoice for the opportunity you missed. But doing nothing has a cost too. Wayne Gretzky said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." And think about this tonight. Somebody in your market is in there sitting in their living room watching television right now. They may not need you, but eventually they might. Their roof leaks, their AC dies, they decide to install solar. They need an attorney, they need a dentist, they need exactly what your company provides. And when the moment happens, who are they going to remember? Your company or another competitor who's showing up before you search? Attention is already being won. The question isn't who's winning it. So here's what I want you to do next. First, let's look at the numbers and let's see if it makes sense. We'll look at your market, your audience, your current strategy, your customer economics, and the opportunity we'll see. And we'll build out the potential growth plan with what it could look like. And then at the end, we'll answer the same question and I've asked at the beginning. Does AdTubio make sense for your business? If it does, we'll show you the next step. If it doesn't, we'll tell you. No pressure, just clarity. Apply for the growth session. You've already done the hardest part. Now think about that. You built the business, you found the customers, you hired the people, you developed the product, you built the reputation. The business already exists. Now imagine putting a customer acquisition engine behind everything you've already created. An engine designed to help you find more of the right people, to see you, to recognize you, to remember you, and ultimately discover you. That's the next step. Business built, now build the engine. I'm Brandon Clyde with AdTubio. Let's find out where the customers are watching.